We're joined by Raghav Chadha, MLA and spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Dr. Rajinder Dhamija, the head of Neurology Department at the Lady Hardinge Medical College in Delhi. We're also joined by PKD Nambiar. He is a political analyst who supports the Bharatiya Janata Party. Appreciate you, gentlemen, for being with us this evening. Raghav Chadha, I want to begin by asking you first reactions on the order that has now been revoked. There was a lot of controversy, a lot of opposition from the Aam Aadmi Party government. Were you not taken into consideration? Were your points not taken into consideration? Were you not asked at all before this order was passed and now it's been revoked?
Well, neither the democratically elected government of Delhi, which is headed by the Honorable Chief Minister Shri Arvind Kejriwal, was consulted before such a circular was issued, nor, I believe, was any doctor, any ICMR expert member or any epidemiologist was consulted. I think no one was consulted. It was just an ad hoc, completely arbitrary decision taken on the instructions of the Bharatiya Janata Party-led central government, right, which completely shows non-application of mind. Because had a rational mind been applied to a concept or a policy like this, the only response that one would have come out with is that this order, if it were to be implemented, would lead to creating utter chaos in the city of Delhi. The testing will go down drastically because people will have this fear in their minds that if we get tested and if we are positive, we will be put either in railway coaches or in some other institutional quarantine facility, right, and they will be stay away from the comforts of their homes. And secondly, it would have resulted in a complete mayhem in Delhi simply because the kind of beds and the kind of facilities that would entail is something that no state in the country has. From 15,000 beds that we are aiming at by 30th of June, we right, would have to create a facility of more than 90,000 beds in a span of 1 week. So it would have really led to utter chaos. And I'm grateful that the Honorable Lieutenant Governor has reconsidered his decision. This is not a victory of Aam Aadmi Party over BJP. I think it's for the benefit of the people that the Chief Minister and his entire government were registering their protest, and I'm extremely elated with joy that
you're not looking at it as a political brownie point that's been scored. But I want to bring in PKD Nambiar into the conversation as a political analyst. This doesn't really inspire confidence among citizens at a time when we know that Delhi's coronavirus cases are spiking. Everybody now knows somebody who is tested positive. It just gives the impression that there's total and utter chaos as far as the decision-making process is concerned, as far as policy-making process is concerned. Why do you think this flip-flop happened? And doesn't this absolutely and utterly embarrass policymakers and decision-makers?
Rishita, firstly, why such kind of a decision anybody, even for that matter, Lieutenant Governor or the Home Minister of the country, have to get as Raghav said, when an elected government is in place, they have utterly failed. You are on channel, and I on this channel we have debated multiple times the kind of mayhem which is already in place in the city. People are not getting the beds. There is no adequate facilities. It's a government which is completely failed. You look at from the point of view of the testings have been come down. The beds are not available. The people are running pillar to post for getting a bed for themselves to get treated themselves. The number of patients are going up every day.
Okay.
Imagine 2.5 months of time, Rishita. Where have this elected government? Were they sleeping? 2.5 months of time.
Raghav, I will give you a chance to respond. But Mr. Nambiar, let me just ask you a very quick follow-up question.
I want to complete my statement.
Let me just ask you a very quick follow-up question. You're saying that the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi has failed. Let's just take that at face value for a moment, and let me ask you a counter question. By a 24-hour decision being announced and then being revoked, you're not, the central government isn't inspiring confidence. It's just leading to more chaos. The question that, a lot of citizens of Delhi want to ask today is who's in charge and what's happening? Because if the AAP government is failing, as you're saying, then you're not inspiring any confidence. The Lieutenant Governor of the Home Ministry isn't inspiring any confidence either by making these ad hoc decisions without taking anyone into consideration.
I'm not a great fan of taking any decision by anybody, whether it is a lieutenant governor or even the Arvind Kejriwal, for that matter, taking a decision which has not been a proper consultative decision. I'm not going by the merit of that particular decision. But what my question today is, maybe on behalf of people of Delhi, to even Raghav Chadha, tell me, what was your government doing for the last 65 days, the very purpose of lockdown, when states across the country has been implemented very well.
Okay, you're free to ask those questions. I'm afraid. No, you're free to ask those questions. Look, you're free to ask those questions, but I'm afraid that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a very specific order that was passed and then revoked. It just highlights the fact that there is chaos in the decision-making process. Let me bring in Dr. Dhamija into the conversation. Let me bring in Dr. Dhamija. Dr. Dhamija, as a doctor, as a serving doctor in the national capital, what have you felt over the last 24 hours? Just in terms of a policy flip-flop, has it, led to more confusion? Does it, as a doctor, do you feel like enough healthcare experts were consulted? What's your take on the developments in the last 24 hours?
Rishika, I think I'm not a political person, but I can go into the merits and demerits of the decision which has been taken in the last 24 hours. Rishika, we are seeing a large number of cases coming from Delhi, 3,000. That means 1/4 of the country's cases are coming from Delhi. Probably the DDMA, which looks after the crisis, all the crises, including the COVID-19 pandemic, I thought probably the consideration was that the people are not adhering to the self-isolation. The one who was positive may not be having a single room, a separate room, separate washroom, and with the full-time carer and with all these other 7 requirements which we have to to allow the home isolation in a COVID-positive patient. Having said that, they may not be having the facilities, and also those who have all these facilities may not be adhering to one, given our cultural obligations, our emotional connect to the family. Rishika, we just published yesterday in British Medical Journal the problems of self-isolation and social cohesiveness.
So are you saying, Dr. Dhamija, that you are in favor of the order that was initially passed by the Lieutenant Governor?
I'm coming to the demerits also. I'm just thinking that why this order was passed.
Of course,
I'm just saying that there are the problems with that, because the numbers are huge, and as of today, I believe that there are more than 10,000 people who are under home quarantine who are positive. So to organize all logistics for all these people to in an institutional quarantine could be a difficult task in coming days, when the positive people are coming every day, 3,000, 4,000,
right,
and so on. Last thing which I wanted to highlight was that this also created a confusion in the hospitals where to send it. I believe some of the district magistrates were doing wonderful job of verifying these facilities for the home quarantine, and some of them may not be doing as good as that. And this also created some kind of a fear psychosis that once you become positive, you might be taken away by the police or by the
so you've essentially told us the merits and the demerits, and as a doctor, if you don't want to take a stand one way or another, that's fine. But Raghav Chadha, let's just look at the merits of the order that has now been revoked. The politics of it aside, I mean, we just put out those graphics a moment ago on our screens, which talks about Delhi's doubling rate, the positivity rate jumping to 33%. It's not a very promising picture as far as Delhi's battle against COVID-19 is concerned. And there are fears that home isolation is not possible in a lot of scenarios where there are shared toilets or people live, very close by. Social distancing is a luxury in a country like ours. Do you then feel that there is some merit to what the Lieutenant Governor's order said? Perhaps you need to have mandatory institutional quarantine applicable in certain areas?
Look, first of all, I do concede that the infection rate, as well as the level of infection, the magnitude of COVID-19 in Delhi is among the highest in the country. And be it Bombay, be it Ahmedabad, be it Bengal, be it Delhi, the cases are rising and the number of fatalities are rising too. But to say that home isolation is the real culprit or it's happening because of home isolation is a very erroneous interpretation. Home isolation has been something that has been followed by virtually every country that is suffering from the outbreak of COVID-19. In fact, in the entire country, ICMR issued a guideline saying every state needs to adopt the home isolation module. And what the Lieutenant Governor's order on the instruction of the BJP-led union government does, that it says that yes, while the entire country, every state, every city in the country is following home isolation, Delhi should not follow home isolation. Now, the Honorable Doctor on your show discussed some merits or the rationale behind this order. I beg to differ, and I would like to apprise him that the home isolation module of the government of Delhi is perhaps the only model that is now being replicated in different parts of the country. And what we essentially do in this is that when you are tested positive, irrespective of your levels of symptoms, a vigilance officer comes and inspects your premises. If you are asymptomatic or if you are mildly symptomatic, the vigilance officer will inspect the premises. And if you have isolation facility at home, if you have a room to yourself with a window, with a door where appropriate ventilation.
So you're saying that there are checks and balances that are in place before home isolation. I understand your point, but I do know that Dr. Dhameja and Mr. Nambiar both want to come in.
Let me finish.
Yes.
No, let me just finish my point.
Okay, very quickly.
So the vigilance officer first checks whether there is ventilation available at the premises or not. And in the event that it is, he has suggested that if you are suffering from mild symptoms or you're asymptomatic, stay confined for 14 days at your house. And while he is confined,
so you're saying home isolation is being done, it's being monitored. You're saying that home isolation is being done in a monitored way. But I just want to bring in PKD Nambiar into the conversation.
The recovery of the patient for 14 long days.
All right.
The doctor will.
So you're saying it's being monitored. You're saying it's being monitored. Your point is taken. It's not true though that the ICMR guidelines are being followed all over the country. In Uttar Pradesh, for instance, home isolation is not even given as an option. So even though in Delhi people can home isolate, in Noida, for instance, people can't. But
exactly, and this is a Supreme Court order which I would like to show on your channel, which is dated 12th of June 2020, where the Supreme Court reprimands the UP government and says that why are you not following this home isolation module since it has been suggested by the ICMR.
So UP government though in its defense, has said, I don't want to make this about the UP government, but though because you brought it up, the UP government in its defense has said that it's not a possibility to allow home isolation in a large number of cases. Now my question here, and PKD Nambiar, please come in here. My question here is, do we need to have a slightly more comprehensive, uniform policy as far as dealing with COVID-19 is concerned? I mean, because literally across NCR, there are 3 different policies that currently apply. There is a lot of confusion among people on what they should do, who they should believe in, what is a good practice, what isn't.
I'm absolutely in agreement with you with regard to a uniform policy. That's what ICMR precisely does. But even then,
but ICMR is issuing guidelines. Every state is doing their own thing.
I wanted to give a small rebuttal to Raghav. You know what is the background of this whole decision? 50% of the COVID cases in Delhi, nobody knows. The government of Delhi cannot trace where they have been infected from. The whole
says
the whole data says the 50% of the
do you vouch for
the data available on the
then we should be conceding to the fact that we are in community transmission stage.
Mr. Kejriwal said precisely. Mr. Kejriwal said,
but the government is denying that.
Is the logic. Triple T is the one thing which will be able to solve or conquer.
But can the infrastructure handle it? Dr. Dhameja wants to come in. Dr. Dhameja wants to come in. Dr. Dhameja, if we take PKD Nambiar's point into consideration, you've also said that there is a merit to the argument that let people quarantine in an institutional facilities. Firstly, what is the 5-day logic? I don't understand at the moment. But as a doctor, do you believe that people should be put into institutional quarantine? Can the healthcare infrastructure in the country handle it currently? Dr. Dhameja.
Rishika, we cannot ignore the numbers. Delhi has the 100 deaths per million. That is one of the highest in the country. Delhi is having 3,000 cases per day, which is 1/4. Delhi has the highest positivity rate.
No, so can Delhi's healthcare infrastructure handle mandatory quarantine?
I think this is a responsibility of the state and the central government and all other stakeholders in the Delhi and National Capital Region to collectively work towards organizing the logistics of whatever is required. I just cannot ignore the numbers. I just want to tell you that the only solution to this rising numbers is only the testing, tracing and isolation. Okay. So unless there are so many people in Delhi who do not have a room. Even if those who have room may not be doing it exactly as per the guidelines. Okay. So we have to do something drastically or extraordinary in situation that we can do the tracing, contact tracing and test these.
I think Dr. Dhamija, I'm going to end this discussion on that note, because what you're essentially saying is that drastic measures need to be taken because the situation on the ground is very desperate. Whether the healthcare infrastructure can handle mandatory institutional quarantine is a whole different question. We don't have the luxury of time at the moment or space to be able to create that infrastructure overnight. But needless to say, such flip-flop decisions should be avoided. Perhaps, all parties need to be taken into consideration, all points of view need to be taken into consideration, so that as far as the people are concerned, you're giving them one comprehensive policy decision, one comprehensive rule book that they can follow. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening on what's been a very interesting conversation and a very important 24 hours. The decision for mandatory institutional quarantine has been revoked. So there is no 5-day mandatory institutional quarantine, but that's only for the national capital. Different rules apply in different parts of the country, irrespective of the ICMR guidelines. Well, we're going to slip into a very short break on this note, but we'll be back with more news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.